Hey everyone, it's Andrew. So this is going to be a video about what I think is the best setup for running with a dog. So I regularly go for runs with Charlie outside, and initially I was running with a leash, like a regular leash, but having to grip something while you're running is pretty annoying just because it throws off your not gait, but your hand motion when you're running. And so I ended up purchasing a while ago, about like a year ago, a hands-free leash, and I really like that setup. And so I want to show you kind of what I have set up for running with him with a hands-free leash and set up to a harness. And so what we'll do is just go through kind of what it looks like as far as the setup with it off of him, and then I'll show you what it looks like with it on him, as well as the drawbacks or pluses or minuses of the hands-free leash that I actually purchased. So that's kind of what we'll do in this video. Real quick, I have it all kind of disconnected here just to show you real quick separate, and then we'll go outside and kind of set it up all connected, so laid out on the ground. But this is just like a regular basic harness. I tried to actually track down what type of harness this is, but I didn't purchase it through Amazon, and it doesn't actually list what type it is, but there's a small label here that says PetSafe 3-in-1 harness, so that's probably what it is. On top of this, I've got two separate lights for at night, so they're just like blue LED lights that have a replaceable battery and it blinks. It's pretty basic, but there's one on the back and then one on the front so it can be easily seen. Those are the ApaceVision lights that are available on Amazon. And then this is actually the hands-free leash that I have. So it's got like a, sorry about that, waist strap here, and then it's got a leash that connects to the actual harness itself. And then I have obviously a poop bag right here. So this is I believe it's the SparklyPets hands-free leash, and then this is the ZippyPaws poop bag. But that's everything for the setup. What I'll do right now is go outside, show you what it looks like on the ground and kind of the setup as far as what exactly the light looks like in the features, and then we'll throw it on Charlie just because we're planning on going for a run today. So give me 1 second. Okay, so sorry about the background noise. There's some car traffic in the background, but I wanted to show you first kind of how the whole setup works off of Charlie, just because once I throw it on him, it'll be a little bit difficult to see. But this is the SparklyPets hands-free leash. So it essentially has this waist strap here that'll connect to itself. On the waist strap, it's got this band that allows you to bring it like make it tighter or looser right here. Okay, there is a different kind of connection here, so if you want to strap something else onto the edge of this, you can put it on. And then this part that loops around the waist will be right here, and this is the part that loops around your waist. It does have a clasp at this other edge here that allows it to kind of, you can clasp something down directly onto that as well. Oh, actually, sorry. This is actually the part, it has a kind of double clasp at the part here, so even if it got disconnected from one part of this, it's still clasped on. But if you have it like this, it's almost guaranteed that it won't fall off. So this is the part that kind of pulls on your waist directly, and this is the part that kind of straps around your waist. For me personally, I have this ZippyPaws kind of like cloth bag on it for poop bags for when we're running, which is just like the Ziploc bag that latches around. I previously used like the hard plastic ones, but I find that when I'm running, that flops around a lot, so it's really annoying and it like hits you and stuff like that. So I find that this kind of cloth bag is very useful because it's not annoying and it clasps right around the waist strap, so it doesn't bounce around. Sometimes as you're running, because of the nature of this, essentially if you had, sorry, it's flipped around, sorry. By the nature of this, when he's running and he's pulling, so if he's pulling like on the left side of me, it'll naturally rotate that way because it's slightly loose. But then if he runs to the right side of me, it'll loosen this way, so it kind of wraps around your waist this way. But sometimes what'll happen is this like poop bag will get caught where it's like caught on this part where it's pulling, so it gets slightly annoying from that aspect, but it's less cumbersome than other options that are out there. I previously did try like using the regular kind of plastic poop bag, either strapping it here or down lower on this clasp here, but it was very annoying. It flung all around the place. So this is, I think, the best option as far as putting something on like when you're running for being the least annoying.
So that's the waist part of it. I'm just going to disconnect that so we can kind of eliminate the separate parts as we go. So that's that. Then you have, this is still part of the regular hands-free leash. So this is the leash part of it. And so this is a nice leash as far as the fact that it has a hand grip with this plastic handle at the top, okay? And then it's got a little clasp there if you really wanted to use this as a basic leash. And then down lower, it does have another grip down lower to control. This, I believe this is a 4 foot, but it extends out to 6 feet. It is bungee material. So if you pull it, it has this bungee feature, which is nice when you're running. So for instance, when we're running, if Charlie wants to run a little bit faster or slower, he naturally gets a little kind of like stress feedback from this. So he knows that when he's pulling too far, it'll reach its max and then bounce backwards, which when you're running is nice because if you use a regular leash that doesn't have this elastic feature and he wants to stop, sniff, something like that, or gets distracted, it'll just yank him real quick and pull him. So that would happen with the prior leash, but this bungee feature allows it a little bit of feedback so that he doesn't get pulled like abruptly. So that's one aspect of it. The other thing is the drawback of this bungee material, at least, is for him, he gets distracted easily by other dogs or other people. So if we're running, especially with the harness, because of the bungee, I can't give him the tactile cues or feedback to get him to respond to me as easily when he's on his like basic leash that we use for walking. And so that's one thing that I've learned over time. So if your dog gets very distracted easily or pulls very hard, once you get the max of this bungee, you really have limited capability to kind of like control him as easily. So if you have a dog that gets distracted easily or pulls very easily, this might not be the best option, or you got to kind of understand that drawback of it with that sort of thing. But the only time I use this is when we're running, so I kind of know when to adjust for that. So if I see somebody walking with a dog or somebody walking on the street, we just kind of like I factor that in. I'll usually reach down for this lower clasp, okay, or reach directly on the harness to control him a little bit better because he gets distracted very easily. So that's the hands-free aspect. We were actually out yesterday, just at like, I'll use this also in the park or something. So if I'm out like just laying on a blanket out in a park or something, I'll put this around my waist and connect him to, at least to the collar portion. And this is a nice little feature where he's got about 6 feet of length where he can kind of just roam around and sit on his own. And I don't really have to hold the leash or wrap it around something to keep him in place. So I just throw this around my waist and I've got that. But yesterday, the unique features, I've never done this, but I actually disconnected this and used as a leash itself, separate from the waist strap. And that was actually useful for a quick thing where we didn't have to throw him back on his regular leash in that aspect. So that's really the hands-free part of this for the leash portion. It's a really nice setup. It's very strong. I haven't had any issues with it breaking. There's no wear and tear on it. So that's the SparklyPets hands-free leash. The separate part is this collar. So it's basically, or a harness. So this is, I guess the PetSafe 3-in-1 harness. It looks, I think I got this from PetSmart, but it's basically a regular harness. It just wraps around his entire chest. So it'll connect here, and the bottom portion will connect here. His head will be on the front portion, and the back will kind of go through that. I like using a harness for running because it minimizes strain on his neck and allows him to breathe more easily. So I'll kind of put this around his chest, leave his regular collar on because it's got his licensed rabies stuff and things like that, and we'll connect it directly to this for running so that he can essentially pull more comfortably if he needs to, or if he's running faster or slower, and it doesn't yank on his neck. This PetSafe 3-in-1 collar is very nice, or harness is very nice because it does have a lot of padding here, so it doesn't cause irritation to his skin or pull or like cause abrasion when we run anywhere from 2 to 4 miles. So it's a very nice collar. I've always used it on the back here where it connects to the back portion of it, but you can also connect it to the front if you're walking. And it does have like this kind of martingale kind of collar where if he pulls, it does kind of pull downwards. I've never really used that with him specifically because I just don't use a harness for walking on a regular basis. I use a lot of leash commands, and so a harness I don't walk with because it's the leash commands and things like that is very useful with the collar setup. But if you have a dog that you do use a harness, this option is available with this harness itself. And then kind of going back to it, these are the ApaceVision LED lights. They come in different colors, but they're pretty basic. It has 3 separate LED lights on it. There's one button here, and it's got a kind of clip mechanism with Velcro loop. So I essentially have looped these around both on the back, at the back, as well as his chest area. And so at night or in the evening when it's dark, we just turn this on, and usually I'll just use the continuous version, and it does illuminate very well that if you have both on, you can see easily in front of you. So those are just basic lights. They're on Amazon for cheap, and they have good reviews. They haven't broke. We've run in the rain and stuff. They haven't had any issues there. I believe they do have batteries, so if you ever need to replace them, you can do that. But I haven't had to do that yet. I've had these for about a year. But it's got 3 different settings, one continuous, one fast blinking, and one slower blinking. But they're pretty basic. You can just throw it on a leash, and they're not too heavy and they're not cumbersome. And the nice part is they have this Velcro strap that connects directly to it, so you never have to mess with it. But that's pretty much the setup. What I'll do now is go grab Charlie. We'll throw it on him just so you can see how it's set up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is Charlie. I'll just have him sit for the time being. Charlie, sit. Sit. All right, I'm going to leave him on the leash just because you can't really trust him. But essentially what we do is, for the waist portion, all you have to do is wrap it around your waist like this, and then connect it here. I've already added size to my size for my waist, so it's easily movable around here. If you make it too tight, it's going to get caught, or it's going to pull too easily, and it won't rotate as easily. So for me, it rotates very easily when we're running, so that if he moves to the left side of my body or to the right side of my body, it kind of naturally rotates that way, and it's very easy from that standpoint. This portion here where where it does like you can size it, it does come loose at times, but you do have to like just tighten it up at times when it loosens, because he pulls over time. It doesn't loosen up on a regular basis, but it's every once in a while. And all you have to do is just pull this, and then pull this part here, and then slide it that way, and that can tighten it or loosen it whichever way you want. Then the leash portion, essentially, he kind of knows the thing is whenever he sees this harness, he's like excited to run. But essentially what we do is I make him sit like this. I'll throw Charlie, sit. Good boy, nice job. And so what we'll do is throw this part of the harness kind of underneath here, and then we'll throw the front strap around his chest here, and then the back strap around here, and that's all you have to do. So now that he's on the waist or the hands-free leash, he's all set, and literally my hands can be free and I'm comfortable with him. But as you see, it's got the waist portion here, it has the hands-free leash connecting, which is this bungee portion, and then it connects to the harness itself. So he's all set up. We do leave the collar on because it has all his identification and anything like that, just in case something were to happen. I feel much more comfortable with that, and it's a safer thing in kind of when he's out and about, just in case he were to get loose or something were to break or something like that for some reason, or if the harness were to get loose. I don't know, whatever, but I have an extra area where I can always connect this to his regular collar if need be. I have done that at times if he's gotten too distracted from other dogs and things like that, but usually I can kind of navigate him pretty easily with the harness. So if he got excited and saw a dog usually he pulls, he sees a bird out there right now, but he'll get distracted like a normal dog does. And what I'll do is usually grab this shorter part here as he's getting closer, and then I might grab his collar here or grab the harness itself here, just to hold him a little bit closer, and then I'll just get him kind of in tune with me and make him sit. So Charlie, sit. Come on, bud, sit. Of course he doesn't want to do it on TV. Charlie, sit. So That's pretty much it. What I'll do is kind of in this area, I'll just walk him around with the hands-free leash just to show you kind of how it works with the bungee. Hopefully it'll move a little bit, but you can see kind of the extent of it. So like me just pulling here, like he can pull and he'll get like a general feedback on his chest and things like that. But as much like, so I can go this way and pull that much, and he's got a little bit of playroom. And the nice part is, like, as you can see here, he can easily run on the grass separate from the sidewalk, which he regularly does just to protect his feet. And it gives you enough distance to allow him to do that easily. Of course, he's trying to eat the grass. But like, as you can see, if he gets distracted like this, like you have to go the full length of the bungee, and he won't necessarily respond to that. So I have to kind of pull him a little bit like this. Charlie, come here. Good boy. And then he'll like redirect towards me. Sit. Good boy. But that's everything for the hands-free leash, my current setup for running with him. I think this is a great setup. This hands-free leash, compared to others, at least I haven't had other hands-free leashes, but this one's been very effective and it offers everything I wanted. And I haven't ran into the issue of it breaking or getting disconnected or anything like that, which is, I think, the biggest concern as a dog owner when you use something like this. But the nice part is, compared to like his regular leash like this, is I don't need to hold this at all. So for me, running, my gait is easier. I think it's easier for him running side by side with me. So he's much more comfortable with it, especially with the bungee feature. But the one caveat is, if he gets excited or distracted, you do have to kind of be a bit more cognizant with that, compared to like when you have a regular leash where you can do regular leash commands. So thanks for watching. I hope that provides details if you're interested in hands-free leashes in general, or if you're looking at the SparklyPets hands-free leash in particular. I'll put links to all the products below in the description. If you're interested in them, please use those links. And thanks for watching. Please like my video and subscribe. I appreciate it. Have a great day.